Hello guys. So today I thought I'd just make a video um, talking basically. Pretty boring video, but I've kind of almost ran out of ideas. And I have a lot of ideas, but I post the video and it gets like 6 views, 3 views. Not really worth it. You know, People really only like my NFL predictions, and since I already did my NFL predictions 3 times over, it's just kind of boring at this point. I milked it so much that I've predicted everything pretty much. So, other than NFL videos, I posted a couple tier list videos, but still not doing that good. So, it was kind of like my last ditch effort. I don't expect this video to get a lot of views, but I just thought that what have I done interesting in my life? I went to the Philippines. Okay, so there's my idea. So a lot of people probably haven't gone to a different country. I'm lucky enough to have gone to a different country. So basically, one day I was like, I kind of want to go to the Philippines. And I was working 2 jobs, so I earned up a lot of money, and then I went. So, yeah, I just, as you can tell by my past relationships, I suppose, you can tell that I do like Filipino women. Well, if you're new to this channel, I guess you wouldn't know that, but yeah, so I went over there. I was newly single, so I was like, hey, let's see. I was kind of interested because I know that it's not as famous as Thailand. I mean, of course, there's a lot of tourists, but I don't think as much as Thailand. So I guess that's the first thing we can talk about, just starting with my experience, is that while I was in the Philippines, not counting the airports, obviously, but just the part of the Philippines I went to, which is Cebu, and just that part of the Philippines that I was in, I saw maybe 3, maybe 2 Americans. I think 2 Americans. There was other nationalities there. There was other white people. I saw, I think, in total 5 white people, but 3 of them were like UK, Australian, Polish, Finnish, that part of the world, not American. American, I think I saw 1 or 2. So, judging off that, there is actually not a lot of Americans. I mean, I don't think it's the most touristy part either. I mean, I think Cebu's pretty popular. Um, it's not like Manila or anything. It's not the capital, but there's a big mall there, so there's a lot of people at the mall, a lot of students too, because you know, I'd say that's what I saw most of. Uh, Cebu isn't that big of a city, but I think it's kind of like they're more noticeable because in the Philippines they wear uniforms, which in America or the UK or something like that, you really only have to wear uniforms if you go to a private school. But in the Philippines, it's you have to wear it just going to regular school. So that's how they were more noticeable because there's a bunch of people wearing uniforms. Like, okay, connect the dots. So that's interesting. You know, Not too interesting because obviously a lot of kids there, college is more important, right? Because you go to college here, you can get a better, higher paying job. But really in America, all you have to do is graduate from high school. You graduate from high school, you got a lot of opportunities. You got a lot of jobs you can get. Maybe not the most high paying, but you can live with it. I make like $700 a week at my job. I can live with that. But obviously, you want to go to college, you want to get like 75K a year, 100K a year, then yeah, go to college if you want to live a good life. But you can graduate from high school, get a job, live perfectly fine. Um, anyway, I got off topic a little bit. So yeah, I got off the plane. The weather, it's pretty humid. I've never been to Florida, but it's kind of like Florida weather, I assume. Um, so yeah, pretty humid there. Uh, at first, I was just in a hotel. I was kind of looking for girls, but you know me, I kind of lack common sense sometimes, so it was just the middle of the day and I was walking down the street with my shirt off and just like talking to girls like, "Hey, what's up?" So obviously, I wasn't very smart. I don't know why I thought that would work. But that's kind of just what I thought going into it, because it's like a third world country. I was like, if they see an American, then, so I embarrassed myself quite a lot because in my mind, I was just like, okay, if you go to the Philippines as an American, then all the girls will be attracted to you because you're American. Not really true. I don't know how it is in Thailand. I think you'll have a better shot in Thailand. So if you are going to a third world country for that reason, I recommend going to Thailand. Um, you know, anyway, I had fun. Obviously, that is why I went over there, but my priorities changed quite quickly just because I did do that and I did see a girl, but I met her family and then it was kind of more of like a family connection. So I went out with the family every day and things like that. So it was a good experience, but I'm just saying if you're looking for sex or something like that, then you should probably go to Thailand. Um, anyways, yeah, so I had fun. Like I said, I embarrassed myself. I was walking down the street with my shirt off, just like, oh yeah, and another, I mean, it's common sense, but don't do what I did. Uh, if you are looking for that, then obviously you want to go to the club. And what they say is true about the Philippines. There are a lot of lady boys I encountered. In fact, they were like the only ones who talked to me. But they weren't as hard to identify as I thought they would be because sometimes you think like, medicine is getting so good these days that it's going to be hard to kind of pinpoint who is a real girl and who is a fake girl. It was easy for me to pinpoint, so that wasn't a problem. But anyway, like I was saying, I met a girl kind of the same way I was doing the I was just walking and talking to girls basically, but she was nice enough to introduce me to her family, so then we started talking and then I went out every day with their family like I said, and I had a really good time and in fact, I think I, it was better than what I went there planning on doing, so I got more connections. I got to learn more about the city. I got to go out and eat. I had people who actually really cared about me, which is a lot better because they kind of protected me. So rather than just, going out and meeting a girl once a day and then she leaves and then I'm all on my own in in the Philippines, not knowing what I'm going to do. So it definitely worked out better for me uh, because they're a really nice family. So they had my back and everything like that. So yeah, you can. It is a lot easier too. I'm not saying it's because I'm American. I think that helped though. Uh, just because, but it was more confidence based, I'd say. It was more so just because I went in with such confidence and I was just kind of like the life of the party, which I can be sometimes. But like I said, why I went to the Philippines because I was confident. I wouldn't have gone over there and, because in America, a lot of the times, girls over here can be a lot different. So I just kind of wait, just like most guys. Over here, I'm not the most confident person. So I would just wait for the girl to talk to me. Obviously, that doesn't work, but I was thinking, I didn't go all the way to the Philippines just to sit there and wait for a girl to talk to me. So, of course, I was confident, and that worked out very well for me. So, there you go. You got to be confident. That's one. So, if you go to a third world country looking for a girl or something like that, confidence is definitely key. So, definitely be confident because I think that was a huge factor in it. But it also did help that I was American, I think, because obviously I had money so I can provide for them. I would also say being nice too. I'm too nice sometimes. Um, but I kind of, I had to trade off a little bit. It's like, all right, I'll buy food and I'll support you. And then they supported me back by basically letting me stay at their home and having my back and not letting me walk alone at night or anything like that. So I didn't get jumped or anything. I don't think I would have. I got a couple dirty looks, a couple stink eyes. It was mostly the kids though, which is really funny. If you go to the Philippines, expect a lot of like the little kids, like the homeless kids. It is pretty sad though, because even we have a lot of homeless people in America or in California, but they're like adults, they're grown men who are homeless, so they kind of chose that lifestyle. They didn't choose it, but you know what I mean. They're adults. But in the kids, it's kind of, or I mean, in the Philippines, it's kind of sad because there's a lot of just like 6-year-old kids covered in dirt who are like putting their hand out at the gas station. Like, come on. You can't always fall for it though, because I think some of them fake it just because they want attention. So, yeah. Um, Anyways, yeah, there was a lot of times where they put their hands out and they wanted me to give them money, but the family I was with was kind of like, no, don't tell them that or don't give them any money. So I didn't give them any money, and yeah, but yeah, they can also be kind of mean sometimes. It's like you don't give them money and they're like, fuck you. All right, So it is what it is. There's moments, but overall it was pretty fun. There's a lot of nice people there, especially the family I met. And usually if you're a tourist, they'll let you in with open arms. So that's what happened with me. So overall I had a really good and fun experience. So, you know, obviously it doesn't work out for everybody, but I would recommend going to the Philippines. Um, Probably don't do what I did. If you're going to go, plan out a little bit better than I did. Don't walk on the street with your shirt off, just talking to random girls. If I could do it again, well, I'm happy with where I ended up because I actually ended up in a better position than I probably would have. But I'm just saying, if you're looking for girls, I would recommend waiting till nighttime, getting a taxi, which they're pretty cheap. It's only like $10, sometimes $5 for a taxi. So get a taxi to the club and try to talk to girls there. Much better outcomes will probably occur. But anyway, that was basically just me talking for almost 15 minutes about the Philippines. But I had a lot of fun. The beach is there. The water's actually not as warm as I thought it'd be, but an interesting thing is the rain is warm. So obviously if you're from America like me, unless I think Florida, you might have warm rain, but I don't know. Every rain I've experienced, it's been cold. So that was also interesting in the Philippines. They got warm rain. But other than that, the weather can be a bitch sometimes, but overall, it was a pretty good experience. I had a lot of fun, so I would recommend going to the Philippines.